Hi, everyone. This is Christian C. And in this module, I'm going to give you an introduction to the higher self. Where there is energy, there is motion. And when energy moves, it creates a journey. We're part of energy and awareness, and we are on a journey through our universe. Our higher self is our illuminating light that crosses dimensions. One key distinction is that when we talk about duality, it's not always black and white, day and night. There is contrast in duality, but at times the difference can be as much as various shades. In other words, duality does not mean the complete opposite all the time. It can even be just a degree in difference from one part to the other. The contrast within duality can even be at times quite similar, yet have a few noticeable differences. For example, when I mentioned the word love, the duality of love is not necessarily hate. It can very well be apathy. This is an important point because the ego and the higher self are not opposites. Our inner energy is dynamic in the way it materializes its interpretation of our emotions, our expressions, our communications, and actions, both internally and externally. The higher self is an embodying energy that is a part of us, a part of the universe. When we pray, when we dream, when we feel joy, when we feel peace and serenity, we are channeling our higher self. Our higher self yearns to be in a state of eternal serenity of one. Our inner energy goes through a natural transformation that we might at times not understand. Nonetheless, we feel within us. Because our energy is on a journey from a third dimensional world that we live in and into a fifth dimensional world, it is my belief that our karmic souls might pursue this through various lifetimes as reincarnation is possible through the universe. Our higher self is eternal as it manifests itself in life form through the universe and in human form on earth through us because it is us in human form. I should mention again that the ego is not a bad thing to have. We all have one. It does become concerning when it rebels itself and does whatever it wants for the mere purpose of gaining power and moving to detach itself from its higher self. It is an issue when it becomes vain or greedy and it lies to itself about doing so. The ego becomes a further problem when it has no empathy towards fellow human beings, when it loses its compass, when it's not open to learning from others, and when it blames others for its problems. And the question is, can the higher self also become negative and destructive? The answer is no. Our ego self can perhaps try to fool us and pose as a higher self and evolve through a path of destruction, but it's the ego deceiving you and not your higher self. Your higher self lives in eternal serenity and in a state of bliss and abundance. It is gracious, loving, vibrant, and peaceful. Our higher self does not necessarily see ourselves as good or bad, or being an angel or a sinner, but rather an ecosystem, a container, by which the higher self connects its energy and transmutes it into a living entity, which is us. Our higher self knows the past, present, and future of our human journey because it is eternal. This is the reason why oftentimes dream premonitions and psychic abilities can become possible through a strong connection towards our higher self and universal energy. Our higher self exists within us beyond our conscious awareness, beyond our mind frame, and within the cosmos of the universe. Our inner energy is in a state of constant flow. Things will change, energy will change, and we will create change along the way, yet our higher self remains in its pure state. Within our journey, it's like we're driving our energy, yet we do not have full control of it at all time, and that's okay. Acknowledging this allows you to actually move forward. And in understanding our higher self, we must look upon it as a source that has its own purpose. Our higher self is not simply about morality or celestial bonding. It is a source of energy that creates awareness, a universal awareness that is part of the universe. In other words, our higher self, that energy that exists, it's part of the universe itself, and it does not necessarily exist just for our own sake, but it exists for an encompassing virtuality, almost like a hub that we are a part of. We are part of that fabric that has a greater meaning to its own self. It has its own ascension process, its own journey, and we're simply a part of it, and the universe continues on its own journey. Our challenge as humans now is to make our energy frequency magnify with our higher self so that we may have a stronger connection. A connection already exists. We should always move to make it a stronger one. It's counterintuitive because we cannot achieve this via our way of thinking, through our mind frame, or through our overall ego self. We should work on the art and science of getting out of our over-analyzing brain, letting go of worries and thoughts that will just make us ill and not help us with our ascension. Allow your inner energy to emanate through your third eye, your chakras, your sense of journey, and create a strong bond with your higher self. And to add to this, I should say that if you believe in that process of practicing the chakras or visualization with your third eye, on meditating or on a specific religion, through any of these pathways, you can actually reach that higher level of universal energy. And through your higher self, you can also attain that abundance that you seek, the self-peace that you seek, and many other energies that will come to you that will be amplified and that you engender. So there's not just one way by which you can connect. You decide in which way you can connect to your overall universal energy, regardless of religion or practice or techniques or spirituality. That's pretty much up to you. By the way, when negative emotions such as anger and despair come upon you, it might just be because you are overthinking and overanalyzing things. Your brain begins to act as if it's adding fuel to the fire. And if you begin to reloop those thoughts, it just makes the situation a lot worse. Having the ability to get out of your overanalyzing mode, getting out of your own way with the help of your higher self, is what we will continue to explore. And remember that overall, your higher self is filled with gratitude, serenity, and eternal wisdom. Your higher self is you. Your higher self is the energy that you have within your universal body.